The ride home, mothers and brothers and cheese wedges. The Saturday night ride home. The famous Saturday night ride home. The end of a long week, 4-day work week. I work 4 10-hour days. Cutting hair, shaping beards, doing straight razor shaves for men, cut women's hair on my days off. All right, so the weather's not too bad. It was in the 80s today. I work in a mall. I work in a damn mall. And busy today, man. Kids are out of school. Just nothing better to do than come to a mall. Anyways, I want to talk to you today about a couple things on the ride home. I don't know how much space I have left on the phone because I record these things, upload, then I delete. And I'm not about to buy a camera. I like the homespun, low-tech, lo-fi nature of everything that I do. And I do everything in one take. If it's not perfect, look it, this is not I'm not making you dinner, okay? I want to serve you something really good if I made you dinner. If I had you to my house for a dinner party, I'd bring out the best. If I was mixing you a drink, I'd make you the best. But since I'm recording a video, I know, as I've said in the past, the production quality, production content isn't of the highest quality, but there's high heart content, and that's what I boast of. I had a client sit in my chair for many years, a guy that had long hair, and I would cut his hair. And I remember the first time he sat in my chair, what he did was he informed me of a scar that he had on his head from ear up to ear, literally across the top of his head. He had brain surgery when he was 2 years old. He doesn't remember it. The guy's in his 30s. Literally, a scar from ear to ear. Boom, boom. Like they peeled his head and did the surgery. Doesn't remember it. And it was always a sensitive point with him. It was something that I'm sure he got made fun of and that type of thing. It was a big Frankenstein scar. And I'll never forget the one time he came in and wanted, like a buzz cut, wanted a fade, something tapered really short. And I said, are you sure you want to do that? Because in the past, everything was, yeah, George, just keep in mind that I have the scar there and I just want to keep it covered. And then 1 month he came in, he was like one of those once a month haircut guys. And this is his answer. And I said, are you sure you want to do that? Now listen closely, please. He said to me, I want to be who I am. I'm tired of being someone that I'm not. And here's the key phrase. I want to embrace what makes me different. Not only did I get a tear in the corner of my eye, and I spent all my energy for the next minute trying not to let that tear roll down my face, but how profound is that? I want to embrace what makes me different. So I gave him a haircut, and all you saw was that scar. And he rocked it proudly. So let me ask you this. What is it that you have that you can embrace? What is the thing that makes you different, or the things that make you different that you can embrace? Things that you no longer have to juggle, things that you no longer have to hide. Like I score pretty high on the nerd scale. I was never a really great athlete, so I was never cool. So here's my deal. You know, I had to learn to embrace my nerdness and it wasn't that I was antisocial, I was just not comfortable being social. So I hid in novels and books and movies and science fiction and things like that, and love that world, and I retreat to it often. I've become a very social creature. I'm an introvert with extrovert tendencies, but at heart, I'm an introvert. But I always felt weird about it. I always felt like nerdy weird. I just never had cool responses, never had just a cool way about me. There was always an awkwardness about me. And you know what? I embrace that. I don't care what people think. Not to the point where I'm an ass about it. I don't want you to be an ass. But what do you have? What is the thing that makes you different? Do you have a scar? I know a guy that had a scar on his head, 6 inches, from a car accident. Well, no, not a car, from a snowmobile accident. You know what he did? He got a tattoo of a zipper. And I looked at that scar and I laugh every time. It just makes me happy. He's like, you know what? And it was funny. He's the kind of guy that when he shaves his head, you see the zipper. It's just funny. He took something that was tragic and made it comical, and it made him laugh, and it made other people laugh. Not laughing at him, they laughed with him. What do you have that is different? Is there a way that you walk that's different? Do you have an orthopedic problem? Do you have a speech impediment? Do you have a mental disability? Are you emotionally disabled? Are you depressed? Are you powerless over alcohol or drugs? Are you powerless over women? Do you just make one bad damn choice after another? Embrace what makes you different. You change the things that you can. And the things that you can't change, sounds like the Serenity Prayer, doesn't it? The things that you can change, you do. If you're too skinny, work out, eat. If you have too much weight, don't eat as much. I'm not busting your chops. Don't eat as much. Spend a little more time being active. I know. I was about 60 pounds heavier than I was. And I know there's people that have hundreds of pounds. I have a good friend who is hundreds of pounds overweight. And if I lived near him, I would be at his house every morning at 6 a.m. and say, dude, roll out of the sack, feet hit the floor, put on the sneakers, put on the walking shoes, put on the running shoes, we're going for a walk. And I would do a 2-mile walk with him every day if I was closer. So, who can you engage in your personal army of betterment? The thing that makes you different. If you can change it, change it. If you can't, embrace it. So we're not talking about change today. We're talking about embracing the thing that's unchangeable. For instance, if you have blue eyes and you don't like blue eyes, you know what? There's not a heck of a lot of exercises you can do to make you change your eye color. Some people think you can. I don't think you can. But the things that make you you, and the things that make you different. Do you have a way of talking that you don't like? Are you different than the crowd? Do you not speak in public because of an accent? Do you not speak in public because of a stutter? Do you not go out in public because of a limp? Something that you have. Were you born with one leg shorter than the other? Embrace it. It's who you are. Stop hiding the stuff. You spend more time hiding and manipulating your surroundings to detract from the truth and the authenticity that is you. For years I colored my hair, my God, and it looked so fake. When I finally let my gray hair go at a young age, I know it makes me look older, and I know the beard makes me look older, but you know what? I embraced what made me different. I was prematurely gray. And for years, when I look back on pictures when I was coloring my hair, God, it looks so fake. On it looked like I put shoe polish on my head. And I'm in the hair industry, and I know how to color people's hair. And I will tell you right now, I did not feel authentic. I always felt like I was on stage acting, I was acting like a guy who had dark hair. Now that's not a disability, and some people might say, well, boo hoo hoo, you had gray hair. And I know there's people out there with bigger challenges than gray hair. Gray hair is not a challenge. It's a crown of glory. If you have gray hair, rock it, man. If you got a gray beard, rock it. Seriously. But I will say this. What makes you different, what you feel makes you different is what makes you unique. Stop thinking different. Eliminate the word different from your vocabulary. Put in the word unique. You are unique. The Creator made you unique. Don't try to be like everybody else. If you've got a way of playing guitar or playing the drums that's different than everyone else, you go for it. Can you imagine if a band is trying out new lead singers, they're looking for a new lead singer for their band, and a guy like Bob Dylan shows up and says, I would like to try out for this band. They're like, all right. They start playing a song, and he starts singing. They would say, after a few bars, they'd say, all right, thank you for coming in. We appreciate your time. See you later. He would not be accepted. I've heard stories of people who have certain ways of singing or doing things, and when they learn to embrace those things, I think Dylan is a phenomenal singer. I love his stuff. I love the heart. He has high heart content. That's what I'm talking about. Does your work and does your image have high heart content? Don't worry about production quality. There's a lot of beautiful, edited, beautiful people out there, and they're probably not watching this video. The Sultan of Silver hair. My hair is gray. I call it silver. It makes me feel better about what it is. But I work on people with gray hair, and they ask me, should I color my hair? And I say, no, embrace it. Let me give you a haircut that's gonna highlight and accentuate and make your silver hair look beautiful. They're like, well, no one ever called my hair silver before. It was always gray. I go, now it's silver. You now have silver hair, and that elevates them a little bit. What can you change in your language to help introduce the new you to you? Rather than saying, I'm different, say, I'm unique. You are unique. I have a child. I have 3 children. I have one child that is unique, and I love her to death. She's so unique. She views the world in a very unique kind of way. And I have to slow myself down and listen to her and appreciate who she is. Because not everything is going to fall in line the way you want it to. Life doesn't always work out that way. I believe you need to do proper planning. I believe in sweat equity and proper preparation. I don't think you should just wing everything. Do you hear me tonight on my ride home? You spend my ride home with me on Saturday nights. It's not rise and shine time. For me, it's probably go home and have a glass of wine and make dinner. And I was told I need to look, what did I watch last night? I watched the movie Spotlight. Tonight I was recommended, I'm not sure if I'm going to watch a series yet, because once I start on a series, like Game of Thrones or Vikings or something like that, I know I'll get hooked for the summer. And my roommate is gone for the summer, and I just love binging. I'll watch 4 or 5 episodes till midnight because I am a nerd. And then I do rock and roll on Sunday nights. And if you're in the Philly area, come do rock and roll with me. I go and listen to some great rock and roll. You're certainly welcome to join me if you're in the area. The movie that was recommended to me is called Good Kill, and it's with Ethan Hawke. And I like movies with moral dilemmas and battle scenes and things like that, but I don't know if anyone's ever seen it. I'm a movie fanatic. I love Netflix. Last summer I binged on Breaking Bad all summer, and then I caught up on Walking Dead, which I never watched any of them before, but I watched like season after season after season till I caught up. And then I loved Breaking Bad. And then I got all depressed when it was done, because I really enjoyed the Walter character. And then as far as Walking Dead, it's funny because when I talk about Walking Dead to people say, I'm not really into zombies. And I say, it's not about the zombies. The zombies are just an environmental hazard. It's like a movie about, people, moving from one place to another, and they're dealing with a thunderstorm or a flood or something. That's what the zombies fall into, an environmental hazard. What you really have to watch out for is the other living people, the ones that haven't died yet. You probably are more in danger from the living than you are from the dead. Anyways, when I start getting near all these car dealerships, then I know that that's my cue that I need to wrap it up. Hope you have a fantastic weekend. I'm going to start reviewing some products. I need to make a video about that. If there are men's grooming products that you want me to review, I will use them. I will give you an honest, intelligent review. Be aware, I cannot be bought. I cannot be bought. If a product sucks, I'm going to say it sucks. If a product is 2 stars out of 10, I'm going to say it's 2 stars out of 10. I don't care if you put $10,000 in my hand. I can't be bought. I'm honest with you, even about my own products. That's why I'm hesitant to sell my beard oil, because I eventually will, but I'm not going to be in the beard oil and beeswax melting business. The oil that I made for myself is Artisan Blend number 7. It's handcrafted. I've tried many combinations of oils, but hence the number 7. I had 7 batches over a period of about 10 years, and I found the one that works for me. The seventh recipe. That's why I call it number 7. And I think I'm settling in on 7. It really works. Embrace what makes you different. Embrace what makes you different. Don't run from it. Don't hide it. If you're bald, guys, if you're balding on top, buzz your hair down or get a nice smart haircut. I'm not much of a head shaver kind of guy, although I'll shave guys' heads if they need it, if they desire it. I'd rather see a shadow, even the little bit of hair that you have, I'd rather see like a shadow as opposed to a shiny head. That's just my preference. But here's the deal. Don't try to make 3 hairs look like 5 hairs by manipulating it or combing it a certain way. Embrace who you are. I met a woman with the most beautiful silver hair. I said, wow, your hair is gorgeous. Our eyes met from across a room, and I went to her. I said, your hair is so beautiful. She goes, thanks. She goes, I let it go about a year ago. I said, really? I go, what color was it before? She goes, I was blonde. I said, well, what made you stop coloring your hair? Her words were this. She said, I asked myself, who am I kidding every time I colored my hair? I said, wow, that's deep. That was kind of like a moment that, it was a very life-defining moment, because after she went completely silver, guess what happened in her life? She got an agent. She started doing acting jobs. She started doing commercial work and modeling. When her authenticity showed, when her high heart content showed. How can you be more authentic? How can you embrace what makes you different and unique? How can you increase that high heart content on the job? I don't care if you are perfectly groomed and wear a tie every day. Like I said in the one video, it doesn't matter to me if you've spent time behind bars. That doesn't matter to me. I don't care if you spent 10, 20 years in a penitentiary. I don't care if you spent 10 years leaning on a bar, falling off a bar stool, and I don't care if you're the member of a bar association. I jokingly say I don't care if you have gone to Penn State or the State Penn. Everyone is the same to me. It's where you are now. What is the intent of your heart? I have respect. I give you peace. Beards Without Borders. Thank you so much for watching. I am in my neighborhood now. What's the one thing that you can embrace? What's the one thing that you can embrace that will just take the pressure off and make you feel better about yourself? Not that the ultimate goal is to feel better about yourself. Your ultimate goal is to be authentic, because that's when you'll be your happiest. More power to you, man. I appreciate you spending time with me. All right. Again, my name is George Bruno, also known as the Sultan of Silver. You can find me on Instagram at George A. Bruno, Twitter at George Bruno, Periscope at George Bruno, Facebook, George Bruno Luxury Hair Experience. My website, georgebruno.com. You got all that now? I probably should be putting... People are saying, put those links down below. I got to learn how to do that. Anyways, I appreciate you, man. I really do. See ya.